Good morning, my friends. Welcome to class. Let's get started. This is SAT ACT Prep for Friday, August 28th, 2020. We made it through our first week. Okay, today we're going to talk about what it takes to be great and start our first real unit. We're going to briefly touch back on PowerSchool grades and attendance. You're going to work on Quick Write number 1 as your main activity today. We're going to do a quizzes together for a grade at the end of class, and then I will assign you your independent work. So some quick notes about PowerSchool and Canvas. If you have a missing class or something is not going right with PowerSchool or Canvas, please contact me. You can drop a note in the chat right now, or you can send me an email. We want to make sure we get these fixed before next week so that you can start next week off with all of your regular classes and everything fixed. If you only see the virtual first period schedule instead of your ACT SAT review or your Foundations of English 9 class, make sure you're clicking the tab that shows GVA. It might say Attendance and Grades GVA, but in PowerSchool there are 2 tabs, and the tab should be on the GVA schedule, and that's where you can see grades for your classes. Showing up in class in the live stream means you get attendance credit. So if you have attended the live stream, you get attendance credit for that day. If you don't show up but you still do the work, you also can get attendance credit, although that means I have to go back and verify it. So the easiest way to make sure you're getting your attendance credit is to show up every day in the live stream. It's also the best way to get help, especially if you need any help or have questions on a specific assignment. Being here is the most important way to show up for this class. These are the assignments that will be put in the gradebook today. So in PowerSchool, like I showed you yesterday, when you click on that little I in the brackets, you can go to all of your assignments, and these are the things that are going to be input. Your ReadWorks Reading Mindset Snapshot. That was the main assignment for Monday. Completing that means you get attendance credit also for Monday, so make sure that's done. If you don't know how to do that, please go back to Monday's video. For the Quill Diagnostic, I believe that was on Tuesday, that is also an important assignment for getting your attendance credit, so make sure you've done that. You should have, including the one you're doing today, 4 ReadWorks articles. So 1 for today, 1 for yesterday, 1 for Wednesday, and 1 for Tuesday. And then you should have practiced quizzes several times on your own. What I do is I open the tab, I look at how many attempts you have, and I give you a score based on the fact that you're working on it on your own. If you have not played it at all on your own, you will not get credit for that assignment. So again, make sure you're doing that each day. So we're starting a unit today that talks about what it takes to be great. And one of the most important skills we're going to be working on in this unit is learning how to listen to and talk to a text. So you're going to learn some strategies for engaging deeply with what you're reading. And these lessons are supposed to help you read more critically, write more effectively, and think like a writer. If you can get inside what the author intended when they were writing the text, it helps you really get to the meaning of the text and helps you pick up the subtle details that will give you keys to meaning. So the big question in this unit is, what does it take to become great at something? Now, I have a quick write for you to complete in Google Classroom. And I'd like you to wait until after class to do this so that you can really pay attention to the rest of the material in the video. But the question asks you to describe something that you're good at. Anything. It can be an academic skill, it can be a sport, it can be a hobby, anything that you're good at. And then describe what it takes to be good at that. Then I asked you to describe a skill or habit or sport that you would like to be good at and what you think it would take to become better at that. So that first part, I'm looking for several sentences where you really answer all of the questions and give me lots of good detail. Now we're going to watch a few clips of people who are great at particular things. Some of them you may have heard of, some of them you probably haven't heard of. And then you're going to think about what makes those people great and what it takes to be great.
La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento e di pensiero. Sempre una labile, leggiadro viso, il fiato il riso e menzognero. La donna è mobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento pensier di pensier
unreal and as well done as anybody, man or woman, has competed in.
And here we go, right off the bat, the very first tumbling pass. Triple twisting, double back.
Money!
Just keep making history, Simone Biles.
Magnus seemed like a normal enough kid growing up outside Oslo. But wait a minute. When he was 5, he could name almost all the countries in the world, and their capitals, and their populations. Magnus's father, Henrik, didn't think that was terribly unusual.
He did have a good memory and the ability to concentrate for hours at a time on a specific topic. And he seemed to be interested in a lot of things, new things all the time. But I thought that was normal.
What got him into chess? Sibling rivalry. His older sister started to play, so he wanted to beat her, which he did, quickly. Then he started winning tournaments. Before long, he became a celebrity, one of the first Norwegians to excel in a sport that did not involve snow. People lined up in shopping malls to play him. When he won, Magnus said it was just a game, no big deal. He couldn't understand why people were making such a fuss.
Why does all people want to talk with little me, you know?
Magnus's parents took him and his sisters out of school for a year, rented out their house, sold their car. It was part holiday, mostly chess. They went to Reykjavik, Iceland, which is where Magnus took a leap into legend, when he was matched against Garry Kasparov, the Russian, considered by many to be the greatest ever. And how did Magnus prepare? By reading up. Kasparov kept the 13-year-old kid waiting for half an hour, and when he did arrive, he didn't even say hello. It was speed chess, the Formula One of the sport, a race against the clock. Kasparov started slow. Magnus started getting bored.
I sat there for a few seconds and then I thought to myself, you know what, I don't know why he's thinking, but I know what my response is going to be anyway, so I'll just walk off and watch the other games.
Kasparov had never played anyone so young, but he did not exude confidence or happiness, and he did not win. Magnus played him to a draw. It was a sensation. Kasparov left quickly. No nice game, kid. Nothing. How did Magnus react? Guess. He thought he had blown it.
When I actually got the winning position, I had little time, I was nervous, and I couldn't finish him off.
Why were you nervous?
I was playing Kasparov. I was intimidated.
You were intimidated by playing the world champion when you were already 13 years old?
Yeah, go figure.
It warranted a celebration, of course, and Magnus got to choose.
Yes, I went with my family and had some ice cream at McDonald's.
By the time he was 19, the boy with the ice cream had become #1 in the world.
He has a very deep understanding of chess.
Frederick Friedel's company, ChessBase, publishes the world's most popular chess program. Is this an indication of genius?
Of genius and raw talent. Now, Magnus has still hasn't reached his peak. He hasn't really worked yet.
I've heard him described as lazy, which I find quite extraordinary.
I think that's an impolite term, but it's probably appropriate.
Except when he's not. Magnus plays soccer whenever he can break away from the board. He's got a mean backhand, and he's moonlighting as a model. There's never been much money in chess, but Magnus is changing that. Sponsors are lining up to endorse him. He's making about $1.5 million a year.
Jumper, don't foul. Jazz is over the foul limit. We're down to 5. Jordan putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2. Now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It is all over. The Chicago Bulls.
By putting the ball in Jordan's hands, where it'd be very difficult to come double team. They took Stockton away. Of course, with Steve Kerr, he had to watch him. And Brian Russell at Michael Jordan.
Considering the importance this afternoon. Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
Some boast to make to a few Chicago writers about this series.
A lot of people put us out of this whole series, and you know, I opened my mouth a little bit, and I challenged the guys, I challenged myself.
Jordan with 43. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. Timeout Utah, 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points. At the end of the game, you gotta get it out of his hands. Jordan frees himself up for a clean look.
So each of those people are considered to be one of the best of all time. You're going to use those examples in your Quick Write Part 2 today after you finish class. So here's your independent work. You're going to choose your 4th article in the Read Work set and do your book of knowledge. Again, make sure you're hitting that 50 to 100 words each time. I've looked and seen that some of you have only hit 100 words after you've done several entries. So again, make sure you are hitting 50 to 100 words in every single one. You're going to finish Quick Write number 1. That's the assignment that I just described and that you're going to do in classroom. And then any missing work from that list that I gave you earlier, really important that you do. All right, we're going to play quizzes for a grade now. So if you can switch over, let's get started with that. And have a good weekend.